Thank you, Azul, for agreeing to do this call. You share on the group a beautiful post, and I think that touches so deeply that we reach out to you to see if you were happy to talk a bit more about what you wrote. So that's why we are here, really, to explore that with you.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you.
Great.
The other thing we should mention is we are recording this conversation, and we may share little clips from it or the whole webinar within the Thriving Together group on Facebook. So be mindful of that. If there's anything that you say, it will be shared more widely.
Great. Well, have fun.
Yes. Well, I'm so happy to see every one of you, and I'm so happy that Azul, that you decided, well, that you accepted our invitation. And when you share your post, one of the things that touched me deeply, because it's a favorite topic of mine, is seeing the innocence in ourselves and in our parents. When I was born and I had this experience of my mother, you know, I never thought of her as a human being. I just thought she was like, I don't know, this being that was supposed to be perfect and that should know everything. And same thing with my dad, same thing with my grandparents and all this stuff. So I love that today we're going to be talking about how seeing the innocence in yourself and your parents really sets you free. It sets you free when you realize, oh, your parents are human beings, right? And you're a human being and we make mistakes, and sometimes we do the best that, well, all the time we do the best that we can. And sometimes that's just not, you know, perfect or even good, but nonetheless, we continue to have our humanity and have the capacity to transcend that. So I don't know if you want to add anything about that, about seeing innocence in your parents and your mom specifically.
I think that for me, the most important thing was really seeing it, because I knew it, like with my intellectual mind, that we are all innocent and we are doing all the time the best that we can do. But seeing it, really seeing it, is what has done a major transformation in me. Shall I keep going? I don't know. This is my first webinar. People, you should all know that I'm very happy to be here, but my heart is beating like crazy right now. I'm a little nervous, and that's the truth. So this is how I'm going to do it. Maybe I shall start telling you. I'm a school teacher. I'm a mother. I have a daughter. She's 2 years old. She's Amber, and she's my greatest teacher, because I see a lot when I see her. And this was all born from her behavior. I was raised in a very dysfunctional family with a lot of violence, physical violence, psychological violence. That was more hard with my mother. We had an on and off relationship. I left home very young at 18 years old to live and work by myself, and kind of running away from violence and from feeling all the time not enough. Because I'm living in Argentina, and here in Argentina we all go to therapy. It's strange that somebody doesn't go to therapy, so I have been there, done that, gestalt therapy, psychoanalysis, just tell it, and I was there. And that helped me a lot to understand with my mind what happened. But also I reached a point where I knew that I was not enough, but doing my job to be lovable, you know, making things to be loved, making a lot of effort to get things in life. And mainly the thing that happened was that when Amber was born, it took me several years to be brave to become a mother because I was afraid of being a bad mother. Uh, I was afraid that at some point some kind of gene inside of me will wake up and start doing crazy things. But finally, I became a mother, and while I was doing the best I could, I was also feeling that I was always going to be like broken inside, like not a daughter that hasn't been loved by her mother. I was like very creative in the way of being a mother because I had this feeling of I didn't have any knowledge of how to take care of a little girl or how to be loving, but it was inside of me. So what happened was that one day, Amber, she's a toddler, so she makes toddler things. I don't remember exactly what she has done, but something that was not nice, and I was tired and stressed, and I got angry, and I tell her something, I don't know, nothing too big, but I was very angry at her, and then one thought and another thought, and I was inside of a train of thoughts that was taking me further and further from the place where I wanted to be as a mother, as a loving mother. And I saw that, but it just stayed there. A few days later, she she did something different and not nice, but I remember she called me, mommy, mommy, and then I went to the bathroom and she had put in some towels there and then opened las canillas. Well, water was flowing everywhere, everywhere. Yes, like a cascade from the bathroom to my house. And she looked at me like, oh my God. And because I was in a different state of the mind, um, I saw that, and for me it was very funny. You know, I laughed at it and I say, hey, what a trouble have you done? And good idea, we needed to clean the bathroom right now, so it's going to be very clean. And we took care of it together, we were laughing, and she was looking at me like, okay, yeah, I'm sure she had some thinking that, okay, this was going to be some trouble. For some reason, it's not today. So when I saw that, I realized almost exactly the same situation, or even worse, and my thinking didn't went far from that loving place, that the way that I wanted to be a mother. And then I think next day, I just saw that my mother was all the time in my childhood very caught up in her thinking, in a train of thoughts, creating a dark reality where she didn't have any option to do any other thing than what she had done. I think the most important thing was that I could feel myself in the same place that she was. You know, I was angry, I could say one thing and then another thing and blah, 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 blah. And I just saw that she was, like, if you take it literally, she was inside of a train full of thoughts, taking her in a long way, and she didn't know that. She doesn't know it today. that she's very caught up in her thinking, in a very low state of mind. So seeing that allowed me to see another things. Like the one that stood up for me, first of all, was that, okay, then it wasn't the case that I wasn't enough as a daughter. It wasn't about me. I have been really for a very hard experiences. Police came to home several times. I mean, really tough things. And I always thought that if I had done it better, a better girl, or something different, then something could have changed. It was a childish thought, but it was there. And the opposite side was, okay, I was a nice girl and she's a bad mother, mean mother, bad human being. But now I see that her real nature is love. She's very caught up in her thinking, that's all. It doesn't say anything about if I'm enough or not enough. It doesn't say anything about her. She's just another human being doing the best she can do right now. And I was doing my best, and that's the situation could happen to any other girl in my position, living with her. And I know it sounds like common sense, but when I really felt it, oof, I found so much freedom, because I was living in this world like with the feeling that I am not supposed to be here. I was not wanted or loved, or maybe something wrong with me. And now,
So, sweetie, when you just said, when I saw this, you said, when I really saw this, could you tell us what this is? When you really saw what?
when I really saw her innocence and my innocence, our psychological innocence, when I really saw that she was innocent and she was very cut up, and I saw that I was innocent and I'm enough and I'm valuable and I have the birthright to be here alive. I don't know if that was clear. The question.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
And
yeah.
and
So,
and
go ahead.
no, it's okay. Then the thing is that now I feel that, like, if I was born again, because now I have the same right like everyone, so I can choose things, have friends, be a good mom. I don't have any bad gene. Nobody has it. You know, you can't imagine how freeing is that, to know that I'm not supposed to be afraid about having a bad mom gene or becoming crazy suddenly, or I think that's the thing. I don't know if you want to ask something, Gabriela.
Yeah. I just, I was going to ask you something, but when you were just saying, what a relief today that you don't have that in your mind, that you understand that there's nothing inherent in you that would make you a bad mom. I just felt the relief of seeing
Yes,
that.
yes. This allows me to relate with my daughter from a different place, from a healthy place, with no fear. I mean, I will make mistakes because I'm a mother, but I'm not afraid of becoming someone else or being less than any other mother. And seeing that has opened a lot of possibilities for me. I have been studying literacy translation. I have been in a workshop, and it was very difficult for me because I thought that you can do that. I mean, come on. Because this not being enough, it has a lot of branches. You know, you can do this, not smart enough, not capable enough, not lovable enough. So when all those branches are off, because it was like a nightmare, it wasn't real. So now it's like the sky is blue and the world is full of possibilities for me and for everybody, because I think that all the people that have had very hard childhood know that loneliness and being not enough feeling. And if they can just have a glimpse like I have, that was not real, that the truth is that we are not broken, we don't need any fix, everything is okay, then that's going to restore our soul, because I feel my soul that has been restored.
You know, I love how you started explaining to us that as a little girl, when your mom did what she did, an idea occurred to you. And the idea was, this is happening because of me.
Mm-hmm.
She's reacting this way, she's treating me this way because of me. Right?
Exactly.
And how that looked like the truth to you for a long time, right? That there was something wrong with you, because otherwise this would not be happening.
Yes. For 38 years, it was true for me.
Could you say that again?
That thought was true for me for 38 years.
Yes.
And imagine all the decisions that I took from that thought.
Yeah.
Now that I have seen that, I mean, that doesn't exist anymore. So I have really a lot of space inside of my mind now, a free space for creativity. It's like just, I feel like I have wake up from a nightmare. That's the thing I feel.
Yeah. And you know, I think as we are human beings and we come up with those ideas and we think they're true, right? We have no really awareness that what we do has to do with our own thinking, and what people do has to do with their own thinking. Like that is really a big change in paradigm. And I'm just wondering if you want to say something about that and how it really impacts this whole area for you.
Yes, I think I was able to arrive at this moment of having this insight because of this understanding that everything works from inside out. I mean, when I was able to understand that our feelings and our experiences come from what we think, not from the others, not my mother doing me this, so I feel this. When I could see that I was feeling what I was feeling because of all the thinking that I had about what she has done, what she does, whatever, that was like first step to arrive here. But for me, until this point, like I could see it in everywhere and in everyone, but my mother was the exception. You know, okay, it's okay for everybody. Yeah, I can see it also in, I don't know, Bin Laden, but not my mother. And seeing it now has helped me to understand more fully that we don't feel what the others do. that we feel what we thought. I have one thought and I keep it. I kept it for very long years. And now I think I just opened my hand and it went away. So that changes everything. I'm not condoning her actions. I'm not saying that it was okay, because it wasn't. But now I understand that at the same time that some actions were being, some things that were happening, at the same point, I created a whole script of why it was happening, and that it was my fault or her fault. You know, there were two scripts, my fault, her fault. Now there are no scripts. There is only freedom.
I love this last point, Azul, because I think when we talk about psychological innocence, sometimes people hear that and they hear, oh, you're condoning whatever, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, because parents are people, and because people make mistakes, parents will make mistakes, and they will do things that are not the best. They're
Mm-hmm.
just not, you know. I love your clarification of whatever she did, I'm not condoning the actions. But I'm seeing that when people have a head full of ideas or thoughts, they're like in traffic in their head, that anyone, when that happens, we tend to act in ways that are not so healthy.
Mm-hmm.
And for me, when you were talking about that compared to you are a bad person, right? There's a big difference between I have a bad mom, she's a bad person, versus she gets caught up in her thinking a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Could you tell us more about that?
Yes, I think that for me the difference is that I don't agree and don't support any of her actions, but I support her because she was doing the best. Her actions doesn't say anything about her. You know, I of course there were things that never should happen, but the things, the actions, not, that doesn't mean that she was mean or bad, or she was only in a train of thoughts that was taking her to do that. So she's a human being. She's very caught up in her thinking, and she can't do any otherwise.
So,
And she's innocent in that sense. In all the senses, she's innocent.
so what does that do for you as a daughter, in your heart? When you were talking about she's innocent, her actions are not good, like that's been established.
Yes. The strange thing was that what this does, what happened with my daughter Heart was that suddenly I became full of love for her, like writing letters inside of a mind, telling, "Oh, now I see this, or I understand this, and I don't blame you. That wasn't right, but we are in peace." And it's kind of crazy because actually we don't have any relationship right now, and I'm not planning right now to get in touch with her because I have some news and she's in the same, she's still doing the same actions. But there is space inside of me to feel love for her. And I think that there are two things. One is that I feel like an overflow of love from me to her that doesn't need that she loves me too. You know, it's just like flowing. And the other thing is that now I know that I'm the daughter of an innocent woman. And I always felt like I'm the daughter of like the some kind of, I don't know, dark black magic witch. You know, I don't know how to express it, but I was this feeling that she's so dark and I'm her daughter. I mean, I don't know, I'm condemned or something like that. Like, and now I feel free, like she's innocent and she's my mother and she deserves love. And if at some point she's ready to open her heart in a way that is healthy for both of us, I'll be there. But the difference is that I feel all this love and I have also a healthy boundary of what's acceptable. I'm not mad, I'm not angry, I'm not wanting her to change anything. I'm just like in peace. Of course, I would love that at some point she reaches me out or in a different state of mind. That would be amazing. But even if it doesn't happen, I'm in peace, real peace, not just a saying.
I love, Azul, that you're talking about the possibility of having love, like this pure love that you're describing, and just kind of um, letting it flow out of you, and common sense, right? This idea of, given where she's at right now in this moment, it's not making sense to me to be around her or to bring my daughter around her. And I love that point because sometimes when we talk about innocence and restoration of relationships, we get confused and we think, oh, loving her, seeing her innocence means that we are going to have dinner Tuesdays and Thursdays and Sundays, right? Mm-hmm. And that's not what I'm hearing you say at all. I'm hearing you say that, I realize that given where she's at right now and given the actions that I'm hearing she's taking, it really doesn't make sense for me to be around her. And my love's still flowing and I still feel peace of mind. I just love how you brought that up because we have conflict. We think that if we were going to say forgiveness, I'm not hearing you say forgiveness, but when we're starting to talk about seeing the innocence in other people, we often resist that because we think that makes us take certain actions. And I just don't hear you say that at all. So I just love that.
Yeah, and I would say also that it happens, I think, in this, I don't know, spiritual journey or path or growing, that there is a tendency to believe that, okay, if I feel peace with that relationship, then now I should get in touch and I should have them in my life, although it's not healthy. Or maybe I think it's not healthy because of my thought. I mean, there's a kind of confusion, and some things are real, some things are not healthy. And I see now that love can be absolutely pure and also firm. Because if I allow her to have unhealthy behavior towards me or my daughter, I'm not doing it any favor to my daughter, to me, or to her. if I allowed her that possibility, because she can't help it. So it's at some point something changes, and she can do anything different. I'll be there, of course. And I was thinking today when I was getting ready to be here, how much this mother that I had taught me. Because all my life I thought that I haven't learned anything from her, anything good. And now I see that I think she or life or the unknown took me to a level that when I hear forgiveness, it's like little because I don't have anything to forgive because she couldn't do any better. Like me, I can't do any better than this right now. So now I see that, oh my God, my mother is such a big teacher for me. So I'm very grateful to be her daughter.
You know, I just cannot tell you how many moments while you were talking, my heart just got big and expansive and love. Thank you so much for sharing so intimately with all of us.
Thank you to everybody to be here.
If it's okay with you, Azul, we're going to open up for people to make comments or have questions or, you know, say anything like that. Okay.
Okay.
There we go. So I invite anyone, if there is any comment that you would like to share with us, or if you have any question for us, feel free, raise your hand.
It's on?
It's on, yeah. So Maria, what do they need to do if people want to make a comment?
So there's two people with their hands up, Susan and Nina.
Oh, okay. Thank you. I can't see it. Okay. All right, Suzanne, go ahead, Suzanne.
Thank you, Gabriela. Hello, Azul. This was just so beautiful, and I'm so full of admiration for you to have had the courage to go ahead and become a parent in spite of what you had experienced yourself. I did not have that courage. I felt that coming from a dysfunctional background, I would never know how to do anything that wouldn't make me a bad parent, an abusive parent. That paired with the fact at the time I drank a lot and I didn't want to quit drinking. But that was an aside. But what I find so beautiful about this is that had I known what you know, I would have seen that the universe was going to step in to support me, that I was going to, the information I needed to see what I needed to see and be other than I thought I had to be, would have been provided to me as it was provided to you. And I think that's just so beautiful. It's, I don't have any huge regrets. I'm not one of those people who say, oh, I should have had a child. No. It was the right thing for me at that time. But I think it's so beautiful that you have been able to go through this and be brave enough to go ahead and risk being a bad parent, risk having your worst fears reveal themselves to come true, which they didn't. And the other thing that I found so beautiful in what you said about just the nightmare, waking up from the nightmare, and then the way you phrased it was so beautiful. I opened my hand and it went away. And it really is like that, because you talked about years in therapy. And yes, we go into therapy and we talk about these abusive parents, and we talk about them and we talk about them and we talk about them. And maybe we have to write letters to them if they're already dead, and tell them everything they did wrong and then forgive them and blah, blah, blah. All it does is perpetuate the story. And when you stop doing that, when you see their psychological innocence, as you have seen, you can just open your hand and let all of that go. And it's so marvelous. It really is so marvelous. So my hat's off to you, and I send you much love. Oh, and one other thing that just, this is something that occurred to me when you were speaking. My aunt did not treat her daughter nicely at all. And I never understood it, because her daughter was the most willing and loving and beautiful child, just like you. And she had not nice nicknames for her, like Creepy and Froggy. And anytime she would arrive to visit her mother when she was an adult, her mother would just wail into her with criticism and the full-blown interrogation, and why didn't you do this and that and the other. And I actually, because I was not shy about challenging my elders, even though I was brought up to not challenge my elders, I once asked my aunt why she treated her daughter this way, why she treated her son the way she did. And she said, I never wanted them to be too attached to me. I didn't want their hearts to break when I go. And I thought, that's sick. But anyway, it's a different perspective. And I just thought I'd throw that little story in. Thank you, Azul, for speaking to us on this subject, because it was very beautiful. And I'm so happy for you that you have the relationship with your daughter that you have.
Hey, thank you for sharing
Thank
that,
you.
Suzanne. You know, it's so interesting with the last bit about your aunt, because when we see somebody else act, we make up a reason why they're acting the way they're acting, the way they're acting towards us towards others. And, you know, when your aunt shared her reason, it may seem a little unreasonable to us, or it may seem a little weird to us, and yet this is what occurred to her. And given that, this is how she acted. I love that example, Suzanne, because you really never know why people are doing what they're doing. We just don't know. You know, it may seem like really obvious to us, but I'm glad that you asked her, because it gives you a sense of like, oh, given that she had this idea in her mind, and this is how she acted. Because it would have been so easy for us as outsiders to say, God, she's so mean, she's so this, you know. So thank you for sharing that, Suzanne. Thank you so much. Nina.
Hi.
Hi, Nina.
Hi. Yeah, this was lovely to hear Suzanne telling about the aunt, because I was thinking exactly the same, that she really thought she protected the children from not being grieving too much when she died. It is a crazy idea, but it still was a kind of protection. So it's, and then you can see kind of the innocent, maybe, but I've never been in this position with my mom, but I'm so touched and moved by Azul telling her story, and what, that you were able to see this. That is so like a miracle. And you look like a tiny, low-voiced woman, and with such much strength that kept you going. And as the other woman said, that you dared, you took the chance to have a child, and that you were able to see your mom's innocence, and flow out the love for her. I think that is a big sign that love is what we deeply are. I don't know how and why it was you who was able to have this insight and to feel this way and to be so full of love for your mom. That's so beautiful. It's a proof of love from another dimension, I think. And you sharing this is so inspiring for all, for the whole race of human beings, that this is what we are capable to. And I hope you go worldwide, Azul. You have the love and you have the courage and the strength. I just love you, what you did now. Thank you so much from my heart.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank
She
you.
is going worldwide.
Yeah, that's
As we speak.
exactly.
Oh my God.
Thank you, Nina. Anybody
Thank you.
else? Anybody else? Oh, Maria. Yes.
Rosie,
Oh, Rosie. Rosie, great. Not yet, Rosie.
Yeah, no, okay. Okay, so I'm not sure if it's necessary to make my comment, but I believe that you're searching for something or you have thoughts about it and and you're not sure what it is, or you have your own ideas, but it's still with you and you still haven't quite found what you're looking for. And I think there's two. It was this relationship with her mom, and then being a mom and wondering, is she gonna be a good mom, and having all the doubts, having all the questions. But in a way, I think it was also a quest to find out, right? And I think when you go after the quest, that eventually something will show to you that you understand, or where you'll be able to see it the way you need to see it. So you go, now I have my freedom, I have my peace, and I can go on with my life. I truly believe that it is possible in every person. And, in different times or whenever, I think if you search long enough, then it will happen, it will come to you. I honestly believe that. That's all I have to share. So yeah, so I'm happy for you, Sul, that you were able to find it sooner or later. Actually, some people, they search all their life. It comes with them much later. So it's a wonderful story. So
Thank you, Rosie.
good for you.
Thank you. I will say that I think that it happened because I was open and stopped searching, because I was searching all my life to arrive at some point of peace. And I think that with this understanding, when I started understanding that there was nothing to search, and that it was safe to be open to the possibilities, then I still don't know what happened, really. I mean, it's not, I didn't do anything. Sometimes when I feel this love, the other day I was seeing old pictures, and I was seeing a picture from my mother when she was young, and I found myself thinking, oh, isn't she gorgeous? She's very beautiful. And I was like, what? Really? Something, I mean, when I think that when love is in charge, a lot of things happen. I was shocked about that stuff, because a lot of years I tried not to see any picture from my mother, and if I saw it, I didn't see. There were just memories of bad things happen. And now I see, like, oh, she's beautiful, yeah. That hair color really suits her. And I was like, wow.
So I think the way I hear it, understand it, is you saw the true herself, the true, not just the things that when it comes out of her, it comes out of her, and you understood she was a human with flaws, we all are. But then you also saw the beauty and you saw all the other things that she has that makes her, it makes your mother. And because of your love, even though I'm kind of surprised it came out of you, and I think that's our inner wisdom. It comes out at times, and it makes us help to see what we need to see. And that is so beautiful. Yeah.
Thank you, Rosie.
I hope one day there'll be a nice meeting of you and your mom, you know?
Let's see what
Yeah.
happens. I don't know how is it,
Yeah,
how is
of
it going
course.
to unfold, but that would be nice. Yes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because see, you were able to see something, and who says your mom isn't able to do that? So it's all possible.
Yeah. It's
Yeah.
all possible.
Great. I think an amiga has her hand up. Thank you, Rosie.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Thank you, Azul. I connected. I mean, I totally understand what you're talking about because I went through the same thing. And luckily I have been able to totally forgive my mother and just love her. But I haven't reached the part where I say that I didn't have anything to do with it. I still believe because I'm new to this, so I still believe there's a lot of the things that caused her to be the way she is had to do with me. And the same thing also with I am a mother. I have two children. They're adults, and I blame myself for like oh, there's so many good things that I did, but I also got some of the things that my mother did to them. I did some of those to them, and all I think about is the bad stuff I did for them. Nothing. Never think of the good stuff. And just yesterday, one of my younger son, he told me just I was a good mother, and I thought, how, like at least say I'm an average mother. I am not horrible. I'm happy if he says I'm not horrible, but he said, no, I'm a good mother. I was always attentively listening. I'm not even aware that I did that. So my mother didn't do that to me. So I don't know where I was going with that, but I had a point. I just, it's okay. Here's the other thing. And while you were talking about telling, that you don't have a relationship with your mother, I said, well, I do. Mine is, it's not very good and it's very superficial, but just like 2 or 3 weeks ago, they live in Austria. They just went on WhatsApp. They finally got WhatsApp. And so I could connect with them on a daily basis. And for the last 3 weeks, I'm thinking, why can't I just send them a little something, And I just always said, oh, they don't want it, just telling myself they don't want it. And I just said, when I went offline for a minute, I did. I just sent them, it's late nighttime there. I just sent them, sleep well, I miss you guys. And I haven't heard back, but it doesn't matter, it just makes me feel happy that I have that little connection and I can reach out. So I just wanted to share that. Thanks so much for your share. And so.
Thank you, Anita. Thank you so much.
Anybody else? Lily.
Well, I just wanted to share, I mean, all the information and all the experience that you have been sharing, it takes time. It is not easy for anybody. Nobody is ready to be a mother, brother, or sister. And to reach this important point that we can just let go, because we cannot control anybody's feelings or movements, or it's people, like you said, Azul, it's people, it's humans, and humans, we're like this. How do you say this, Abanico? How do you say this in English?
Like a fan.
A fan. I forgot the word. Humans are like a big fan, 360, you can say like this. and we change, and we are moody, and we are happy, and we are ugly, and we are beautiful. I don't know, but we are humans, and humans have this big fan of emotions and actions, and nobody trained us to be humans. So at the point that we, as an unique being like we are, move up like in this big inverted pyramid and open our minds and see we can be different, or we stop searching for something that we are never ever gonna find an answer for, why my mom was like this and why this person, or we just open like this, and we just make like a stop, and we say, okay, this is enough. It is what it is, and I'm not gonna change that, but I can change myself. So even if, like you said, Azul, like, I don't know what happened, but it happened. So that's perfect that we just let go all the extra baggage that we're carrying on and just move along and let go and understand and feel free. That's amazing that you feel free. That's the best point that we can be. We are free of that baggage. We don't need that. We have enough already. So take a deep breath, and that's very good. That's beautiful that you are already in that point of your life that you are like, oh, okay, I'm free of that. Mommy, love you. Move on. And that's perfect. It's wonderful. It's wonderful that we are already moving on. We don't need that extra. Foo, foo, and go. So it's beautiful. It's beautiful. Nina, I heard you. Anita, Rosie, Betty, all those experiences. It's amazing. We need to move on. We need to keep going. Drop the baggage. That's all. Thank you.
Thank you, Lily. That was amazing.
You know, kind of to close, and a little bit of what Lily was saying, and also you, Azul. And again, I just want to thank you from the bottom of my toes for being so willing and, you know, and genuine and generous with us and with everyone that will be listening to this. One of the takeaways for me is when you share, when you had your child, even though your mom didn't give you like the best examples, still there was something in you that provided, and that provided a way. And I think that's really essential for all of us to know, that there is something in us that will provide, and that will provide that next step and that next direction, you know, the next little bubble of wisdom. So I just wanted to really punctualize that. Thank you from the bottom of my heart. I know that everybody's very grateful that you were willing to do this. And I'm just wondering if you want to say anything in closing.
I want to thank you also from my whole heart, from my soul, because this is not only the thing of telling you what I'm experiencing. It's huge for me because it's stepping out of my comfort zone, is speaking from my wounds, I think is the word. And I was afraid, nervous, and you all have made me feel comfortable and at home and in a loving and safe space. Like this is a place where you're able to share your heart, and I'm so thankful to everybody to be here, to hear my story, to share your story. I'm very touched. I don't know, I think that when I finish I need to go running or doing something because I'm so full of loving energy from all of you. So thank you very much from my soul. I don't know. Thank you, Gabriela and Maria and everybody And I'm nervous. I'm still nervous. Thank you.
All right, well.
And Katie, I'm sorry. Thank you, Gabriela, Maria, and Katie. I was searching for the name, and my English brain is like needing a break right now. Okay, now it's okay.
Thank you. Thank you. That was absolutely beautiful.
So we'll let you guys know when our next webinar is. We're in the process of organizing that, and thank every one of you for showing up. So we'll see you the next time.
Thank you.
Gracias. Adiós.
Yes.
Goodbye.
Bye.